necessarily have to be about her because Han Solo is part of the Skywalker saga, but he died. Leia is part of the Skywalker saga. Huh?
He's an ancillary figure,
but he's a big part of it.
Yes, but he's not one of the. He's not the throughput of it.
Have they said at any particular point that
Kylo Ren is literally his son, so he's part of it?
That Kathleen Kennedy and the Star Wars ideas was for each one of the principals to die over the course of the movies.
I've never heard him say that.
Well, I mean, Han died in the first one. Yeah. Technically, Luke died in the last one.
But now we're going to be forced with Leia.
I mean, and Leia's going to have to just because of
she's not alive.
Well, which I assume we've all read that her brother said they've used quite a bit of footage.
And maybe they won't kill her in the next movie.
I think he has alluded to that.
She's not going to survive.
Her ending will resonate with all of us. The conclusion to her story will resonate.
Oh man, I bawled anyway when she was in the last movie and then she passed away. I was like, I'm crying.
Well, and that's funny because my emotion came from watching she and Mark Hamill together for what I knew was the last time they would ever act together that I would watch. And that final scene, even though I didn't think that final scene when he shows up as a weird force projection ghost that...
Well, no, he wasn't a force ghost because he wasn't dead.
He's a force projection.
But he was upset. Like Mark Hamill was upset that he died in the movie, wasn't he?
Oh, he was very upset. He was just upset with a number of the things. He was like, this is not the Luke Skywalker I've played.
I will give you that for Kylo and the Han's relationship that Han had to die.
I agree with that.
Okay with that. But we really
every kid has to kill their parent.
And I'm cool with that.
I really didn't want this next 3 movies to be about the death of the original characters. I really did not want that to be.
Now, I do want to toss out...
Conclusion, yes. Not necessarily death.
So, speaking of Star Wars, and I teased this in a previous in-between, my daughter and I are now into Season 4 of Game of Thrones. Okay. And she loves it. She just is enthralled by it.
Good show.
Mm-hmm. And I told her, and I said, here's the great thing about this show. I said, it has faults. There are episodes that you can break down and go, that's not as good as it could have been, blah, blah, blah. But I said, what's smart about it is that characters act on the information they have. They react accordingly, or they either internalize it, and therefore they lose because of it. So, with, and forget, I'm going to mess up the creators' names, Benoit and...
the producers?
DB... The 2 guys.
They're doing the show? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the book.
And for whatever reason, it's one of those, again, I can't get it to the front of my mind. They're going to take over a Star Wars franchise after this.
And I think that will be what's really good.
That's their next project is once they're done, they're on to Star Wars.
And I was okay with the idea of Rian Johnson doing some stuff inside the same universe someplace else. I was okay with that. I mean, Rogue One blew me away. And
I loved Rogue One.
I would love to see more of that style of thing.
What will be good is when they move beyond the Skywalker stuff. When everything is not tied into Luke, Leia, the Force, Han,
I think
Chewie.
the Force has to stay.
I think the Force and the Jedi. I think all that really is.
Well, think of it this way: besides Vader, Rogue One. Well, I forgot about the blind guy. Never mind.
Well, you blind guy, and you also have the kyber crystal she wears.
Solo didn't have any Force stuff in it.
Do you think...
Yes, but I think that just like Lord of the Rings, where all the nomenclature of the different things that have transpired, you have to put them in the world, and they have to at least be acknowledged. I don't think you can remove them for that world to work.
Well, no, I'm not saying you have to remove them, but it doesn't have to be...
it doesn't have to be focused on it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the plot point of it. The fact that somebody can move something without touching it or has a lightsaber. Just make a gangster movie. Make a Western. I don't know how you do... Figure out in their world what science fiction is and do a movie version of that.
So I do think, at least from the guys with Game of Thrones, and I'm trying to look them up. I'm so pissed at myself because, again, I've just seriously over the past 3 weeks...
Hey, JJ's home.
I have pushed through 36 episodes with that kid, which there's nothing more interesting than watching a show that you know very well with someone
to see how
that they don't react. And Sean wanted me to take video of her during the red wedding, and I said no, because I am her dad.
What did she do?
She lost it. She bawled, and because right before that she's like, I really love Rob. What she would say was,
you come in here,
hi sweetheart.
Hi.
Where were you, by the way? We knew you had to work out of 10. Oh, you got your titties done? Maybe I wanted to do that too.
What, you got your what's done?
Titties.
Titties. It sounds like titties.
Yeah,
I was like,
sound like that.
Titties.
Hi, JJ. Welcome to the podcast. Your husband just said you got your titties done.
You can talk.
That's what everybody else does on a Sunday afternoon, right?
Step in and say hello just so people can hear your voice.
Hi.
We feel so bad because we forgot that we had you at the end of the first podcast. and then we didn't do it for the second movie. But we'll have you for this one.
Do you want to sit here and talk with us now?
We're just talking. This is a shooting the shit episode.
Okay.
You're what? Okay, go eat.
Thank you for the nod.
Hey, you did it with an empty bottle. Yes.
Richard's had enough.
He's done.
I've had 2 beers. That's not enough.
Yeah, I know. Good Lord, mister.
Lightweight.
Oh, wow.
It is David Benoif.
Benoif?
Benoif, and DB Weiss are the two guys.
DB Cooper?
Gal
What?
Gadot.
So the thing that having watched all these things with Abby, and it's been a blast to watch with her because it really does illuminate to you again how well constructed the show is.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see what I hope is maybe they'll go back in time and tell us the really because
Well, that's what the prequel shows are supposed to be like.
Well, yeah.
But I'm talking like Knights of the Old Republic because there was that famous video game.
It's going to be like Times of Dragons that they're going to be doing.
Well, and that's what I hope they do.
Book.
Yeah.
I've
got it over here to read. It's my pile of books.
The book that I got for Sean for Christmas.
Fire and Blood.
Oh, okay.
It's rather than do the concluding book,
rather than finish the story,
he decided to do a 2-book series going back and talking about the Targaryens. And it's
whatever.
I think he's made it in his mind, and I'm just guessing.
Well, we're talking about George R. R. Martin at this point,
not the producer,
not the producer of the show.
I think George R. R. Martin has decided that he's going to let the show end.
And then he'll write the book?
Then he'll write a book, and he's going to write a book with a different ending because he's already given them the ending, and he wants to do something different to make it his own.
I can see that.
To make it his own. So the question is, can he do something?
But the fact of the matter is, all right, so we know that the last season's coming out this year.
Right, April.
Which means that they have already shot...
Well, the audience
They've shot and they're posting
the audience listening to us now...
Well, at this point, they might be watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be very close to watching it at this point.
So he should know how it ends. So at this point, he should be writing that goddamn last book.
No, he knows how it ends.
Yeah.
He told them how it ends.
No, I mean, and he should know how the show ends so he can write the book how
True. Okay, that's a good point.
But according to the early thing, the thing that sold him was when they figured out who Jon Snow's parents
how they
were.
cracked it,
and they understood who it was, and he went, okay, you can do the show because you know exactly the type of mentality. But he's also said that they have talked about what his intentions for the end are. I think that while he may then write a book that's divergent from it, I think it'll be similar. It's going to be pretty similar to it.
It's got to be.
It has to be. It would be so wrong if, let's say, that the show ends with the easy thing, that Jon Snow ends up on the throne.
He's on the throne or whatever.
However, but then the book ends with Arya on the throne. That would be, okay, come on. Could you guys not get your shit together?
Do you think that he wrote the Targaryen book because he's also giving content to HBO to do the prequel?
Could
that
be.
too, yeah.
Could be.
Todd probably won't get this. You'll get it. Armageddon 2001. How it was supposed to be Captain Adam was a bad guy at the end,
right?
And then somebody figured it out, so they rewrote it with a shitty ending of Hawk.
Why did they do that? That was my understanding. Why Lost was such a shit show.
No, this is DC actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did a event back in 2000 called Armageddon 2001, where a good guy in 2001 was supposed to turn bad and kill all the superheroes. And so they did all these little things, putting people in the future to see what their lives were like. And then the reveal was supposed to be a character named Captain Adam was supposed to be the bad guy.
Right.
Somebody figured it out before the series came out, and so the writer rewrote the ending with a different good guy named Hawk, which all the clues they gave were pointing at Captain Adam, and then they said, no, it's this other guy because somebody figured it out. Fuck you.
Well, that was my understanding of what happened with Lost. My understanding with Lost is that there was a writer who I won't mention who talked to some friends. Of course, this is all rumor and speculation. I have no idea, but they couldn't sustain. They couldn't maintain the original idea for the ending, and so they just kind of had to go off on a different uncharted territory. Which is why the show ends up being so unsatisfying by the end.
And the thing is, I always thought with Lost could have even been worse than it was. If you really think about it, it could have been somebody looking through a children's book, and then it was some stupid story like that.
It could have been St. Elsewhere.
You could make it worse, but it is so. You're right, so unsatisfying because it's almost so obvious what they did with it, and it's like, really, that's the best you could do. However, I think you have to look at it, and Battlestar Galactica was the same thing.
Same way.
Where
Same
its ending
exact
was
way.
like, that's the best you can do.
The president who will not make it to Earth, well, she magically kind of makes it, hangs out there for a while, watches Earth, and then just dies.
But so then you've got
By the way, that
Babylon
was a
5.
spoiler.
There we go. Thank you.
That so beautifully does it. That opens the door for Lost, that opens the door for
Yeah.
this. These things have to occur so that then we can have shows like Game of Thrones, so we can have shows like Breaking Bad that actually tell us a true story.
True.
And I think
you
that we
don't-
had to have those steps and missteps so we could get to this point.
If you're telling a story, you got to know how it's going to end.
I completely
Otherwise,
agree.
And you know what? You can mix up the middle part. You can
Right.
have trap doors for getting people in and out,
Yeah.
or whatever. But you got to know where you're going to end. Otherwise,
Well, that's what Vince Gilligan did, I think, better than anybody, is he completely said, I want to make a show about Mr. Chips going bad.
Yeah.
And here, by the end of it, these people will die. This will happen.
Except
Now,
for-
how do we do this all together?
Except for the one change of Jesse was supposed to die like in the first episode. I
and
think.
except for the one episode, what's the one episode that everybody says is not that good? The Fly?
Oh yeah.
Does
I
anyone
love
know
that
who
one.
directed it?
Who?
Ryan Johnson. I win.
Wait, now we were going to talk about Star Wars. Were we going to cover something else?
Oh,
in this?
also stars that don't look their age or look older than
old-
they are.
So yeah, in the 60s,
Stars that have always looked old.
British
Never looked
TV,
young.
British TV in the 50s and 60s, everybody looked old. Like
Angela Lansbury has always looked like a mature woman.
So did anyone see Mary Poppins?
not yet. It's on our
haven't
list.
seen
You
it
want to
yet,
go
no.
see it after this? No. Why?
She
You're
doesn't.
working out. Oh, by the way,
working out
real
She,
quick.
she wanted me to tell you real quick.
Doing
She
that
doesn't want to
competition
hang
thing?
out with you.
By the way, why didn't you work out with him this morning? He wanted
Because
to.
I'm doing the exact same workout he was doing at 4 o'clock.
Well, why
Are
did you do it with
serious? That's
him?
what they booked? How did you know that?
Because I look.
But why didn't you
Hey,
do
hey,
that with
Richard.
him?
JJ's smarter than you are.
No. So I wrote a workout today, and I picked the workout. I posted it, and come to find out that the CrossFit gym she goes to is actually doing the same workouts evening. Like, are they reading my posts?
Oh, well.
But
Wow.
that's why I wasn't going to do it twice today.
I understand.
Sorry.
That sweet little voice you hear in the background is
my
JJ.
wife.
She's unmiked,
My
and
wife.
I can't get a mic down there on her, but that's her.
So, yeah, it's like they used to cast. I don't know if it's just modern living that we look younger as we're older, or people were living harsher lives back then. But it always looked like somebody that was supposed to be 25, 30 years old looked like they were cast by a 50-year-old. And
I wonder if perhaps it was when you have a young, pretty face that's easy to cast on TV without any lines, discoloration of hair, wrinkles on face. That's easy to cast. They're good actors, and they suddenly have a wrinkle. Oh, well, now they're 50. And we simply put them there. Do we start pushing off because they're good and they can give a reliable performance? Because this all started, JJ, because we mentioned Ruth Buzzy in the middle of this. And, you know, Ruth Buzzy from our era was always an older person in everything she played. And Sean
is
looks
still
it up.
alive.
she's born in 1938.
And so-
She's 83.
So when we saw her as kids, she might have been 40.
But
And
we-
that's it.
Yes.
But to us, she was 50, 60,
She looked
70.
older.
She looked
Yeah.
old.
That's what the
We
discussion
thought
was.
she was mature. She was a mature woman at the time, and she wasn't really. She was.
But it seems like it just felt like they cast older looking people for younger roles.
We lost JJ to the kitties.
Well, kitties are
the
in
kitties wanted her.
They're crying because they want to go out.
Well,
they're feral cats.
For whatever reason, at least now, if we're going to cast old, we wait for Meryl Streep to take it on. She suddenly
wait,
is cast
hang
as
on.
the old woman
You
and everything
brought
because
up-
she's about to be Big Little Lies. She's going to be the mother to Nicole Kidman or one of them or something like that.
But you brought up
She's relatively
Mary
also
Poppins.
always looked mature, though. I mean, she had a couple of really, really younger films. She looked younger, but she's
Sophie's Choice and those kind of things, she looked pretty young. But you're right, she did kind of that and Kramer versus Kramer. She was young, but after that kind of era, then she became
But
a
like,
little bit older.
hey,
William H
Did-
Macy has always looked old.
To take it
True,
back to
true.
Planet of the Apes, Emmett Walsh always looks old. He's young in this
Is he
movie.
still alive?
Oh, let's see.
I think he is.
I think he
I've
is.
got IMDb open too, but you're going to be faster on it because you're already typing.
Let's see here.
There's nothing like riveting podcasting while we wait for Sean
He's
to type.
83 years old as well. He was born in 1935.
Seriously?
So yeah, him and Ruth Buzzy are around the same age.
He's one of my absolute favorite character actors. I mean, you can put him in anything and he makes sense where he
Yes.
is.
Uh-huh.
He's automatically authentic.
Excuse me. Did the cats go out?
Yes.
Okay, I just didn't know if I need to look for them or not. What? So you brought up Mary Poppins earlier. Why'd you bring that up? Because you
Yeah.
asked if anybody'd seen it. But
you like
As soon as I said it, no, I did not.
You did not like it. Why?
Here was my problem. I thought she's fantastic, and I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. I worship him. I
I
think
heard
he
he
is.
didn't write the songs for this. So why do you have him in the movie?
He did not write the songs. Mark Shaman wrote it, and there's a point where he raps in it because of him writing Hamilton. And I was like, okay, just because he writes one of those groundbreaking musicals that's probably ever
Don't
been
make him
created,
do that
he
every
doesn't
time.
have to rap. And the moment he rapped, I was like, I'm done. This doesn't belong in this. Now, Shelley loved it. And I think that Emily Blunt is.
JJ looks so upset.
I'm hoping I'm going to send you in with really lowered expectations.